everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where you boys always have something to say with the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle. And today, guys, we got to talk about how the Blue Jays are going to fill the empty void of Alek Manoah's starting rotation spot, and 5 guys that the Blue Jays should go out and pursue maybe come this trade deadline. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, let's get into it. I mean, we're 2 months away, and we already got a hole in the rotation. Not from injury, but just how bad he's been. But he's got to go get it figured out. We need someone to go pitch games, though.
100%, dude, 100%. I completely support him going and dealing with what he needs to deal with down in the minor leagues. But we got to win ball games up here, baby. So let's kick this thing off with a familiar face, everyone. Marcus Stroman. Ooh. This would be a story, dude. Guy is 32 years old right now. Maybe arguably having the best year of his career.
Yeah.
He's in the Cy Young conversation right now. 79 innings, 2.39 ERA on a struggling Chicago Cubs team. And on the last year of his deal,
he's got a player option next year, which I think this is what Marcus always wanted. You know, he signed a quick 3-year deal with that player option that 3rd year, and I think this is why he wanted to do so well this year, because he's like, hey, you know, I'm turning 33 next year. Yeah, 21 million is still really good for a lot of people. Sure. But I mean, if Marcus hits the market, and he's 33, he's still technically in his prime, and he gets up there for Cy Young votes, man, I think the payday could be even more, but even extended, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to build off that. Even if he gets like 21 million average again, you want to build off
Totally, dude. Like, I could see this guy signing like an $80 million deal for 4 years or something like that, right? Or something along those lines, right? If he is pitching at the caliber that he's pitching to. Now, when Marcus Stroman left, let's address the elephant in the room. When he left the Toronto Blue Jays, there was a little bit of drama. There was a little bit of stuff that went down. I personally feel like time has passed. Water is under the bridge. We're good. And we've seen Marcus Stroman now time and time again. He's kind of supported the city of Toronto and supported 100%. The Toronto Blue Jays on Twitter. Like, when people are coming at us, when people are coming at Alek Manoah, for instance, he's had their backs. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. You know, I'm beyond the whole drama of him, like you know, throwing shade at the Blue Jays organization and upper management, saying how they don't treat their players right. You know what I mean? Look, I think that'd be great for the fan base. I think a lot of people like Marcus Stroman, you know, as a fiery player that he is, and what he is online too. And can you imagine the storyline and the tickets that would be sold if Marcus Stroman starts game 1? Not saying he would ever start game 1, it'd be Kevin Gausman, but if he starts like a really important like playoff game, that's huge. What a storyline.
That's huge, guys. And Marcus Stroman, because you're going to see there's varying tiers on this list. Marcus Stroman, he's a tier 1 guy. And if he's coming in, not only is he just like filling the hole, filling the void, like he is like you know, being the glue and the gap of this entire organization, right? Like, it would be massive for our team.
Dude, right now you have like kind of Chris Bassett being that number 2. Like, he would surpass him. He's like challenging Kevin Gausman now for the ace.
100%, right? Dude. So I absolutely would love Marcus Stroman coming on the team. I do believe that the Chicago Cubs would be sellers. And clearly, considering that we have a relationship with them, this should be a guy that we need to go out and target. If we can't seem to get prize number 1, because that's definitely like top tier prize number 1 on the Chicago Cubs, there's another guy.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's a secondary prize on that team, and I mean, it's not a bad one. You know, it's not the guy who's going to carry you in the postseason. It's the guy who's going to carry you to maybe a Hyun-Jin Ryu, or maybe when Alek Manoah gets back, or if you need a guy who's a 6th guy, a 6th rotation piece, some depth. It's going to be this guy. It's going to be Kyle Hendricks. Now, I know that we've tossed his name around in a few videos. You know, he's 33 years old. He's starting to get a little bit up there, and yeah, the numbers aren't there. I'm not going to sell you on how good he is. 4.70 ERA. He's just starting out. He has 3 games under his belt, 1.5 whip. And Kyle Hendricks right now, he is on a 1 more year deal. I mean, he's got a club option next year.
They're not going to
take it, man. He's kind of getting up there in age. Hasn't been like himself in the past, but I think this is a good option for the Blue Jays to trade for, and then you can get rid of him next year if you don't want, or put him in like your minors.
Exactly, right? Because obviously it would be phenomenal to get somebody of the caliber of Marcus Stroman right now. That would just be so top tier, incredible. But at the end of the day, we need to fill a hole. That's the number 1 most important thing. I don't trust Bowden Francis right now, right? Like, I just don't. And when you look at our minor league system, there just isn't a guy out there that can eat innings. At the very least, Kyle Hendricks can do that. I'm not saying that they're going to be exceptional innings or anything like that, but hell, he's still doing better than Alek Manoah was when we were pitching Alek Manoah. Right. It's like, I think that he could come in and he could at least perform to a caliber where maybe he gets 5 innings, maybe he gives up 3 runs, but you still have a chance to win that game and not completely tax your bullpen.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for, because during this next 2 months, like, it is going to be taxed, guys.
Yes.
Like, we're going to have to cycle through Bowden Francis, bring up Jay Jackson. We're going to have to keep bringing people up to try and fill up some innings, right? And yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes.
I feel like Kyle, or I feel like Hendricks here, he's like a better Band-Aid solution than what we're currently rocking with. Until our Lord and Savior Hyun-Jin Ryu can return.
Of course. I mean, like, guy who has like many seasons of Major League experience. Like, you want that guy in there. Totally. He's throwing complete games, like complete game shutouts. Like, that's the man I want in rotation. Even though he can't do it right now, maybe not. I want him there over Bowden Francis. Let's be real.
Same.
Right?
Whoa! Time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
One other guy that we have on this list, and he's on a struggling Chicago team as well, the Chicago White Sox. Now, you got some big names on there, but one guy that's kind of under the radar that also could give you some more innings, and that's Mike Clevenger right now.
Totally.
Mike Clevenger, 4.13 ERA, whip of 1.395. Not amazing, but, I mean, if he could slide in and give you some innings, and hell, he's kind of a better option in my mind than Kyle Hendricks, because there's actually some upside with Clevenger. We've seen him with back in the day when they were the Indians, with the Padres, when he's had some good flashes there, and maybe you could have sparked some lightning in a bottle with him.
Dude, 52.1 innings. That's the number that stands out to me. 52.1 innings at the major league. Who in our minor league system has that? Right. No one. Literally nobody, right? This guy could actually come in and he could give you a chance to win some games. We're looking at like another Kikuchi, maybe even better type of player, right? It's like that is what Mike Clevenger is going to be. After this year, you're going to have a mutual option of $12 million. If the Blue Jays want to take it, okay, we can take it. If not, no worries. Like, thank you, bam, like, see you later. I feel like Mike Clevenger would be a very good kind of like secondary prize. Well, everybody's calling about Lucas Giolito. Everybody's calling about, Dylan Cease, all those guys. How many people are going to be calling about Mike Clevenger? I feel like that is the type of player where you don't need to give up a trillion zillion prospects, but he can still come in, plug that hole until Hyun-Jin Ryu gets back, and hell, maybe even give Ryu a run for his money for who's going to be that 5th guy.
Well, honestly, I kind of hope that he does that. Like we're saying, like till Ryu gets back. Well, Ryu's going to come back like right after the All-Star break, right after, like right around the trade deadline, right? So, it's never a bad option late in the season to add a 6th man to your rotation, right? And Mike Clevenger could easily be that man. Hell, be even some depth. Go in the bullpen and be a long man. No, he's never really played that kind of role, but like, who cares? We own you now. Like, we can do whatever. We're not attached to you. You might be gone next year. So I like him as an option for sure.
I completely agree, dude. Moving on to the 4th dude that we think these Toronto Blue Jays should pursue, Alex Cobb. This guy, similar to Marcus Stroman, he would be a lock, man. You were looking at like number 2 in the rotation. Incredible. Older guy, 35 years old. I actually didn't realize that he was that old when we were doing our research right here. But a 2.3 WAR on the season so far, 2.71 ERA, and again, 69 nice. 0.2 innings pitched on the season. That is just absolute music to my ears. That's actually more innings than Alek Manoah had before he got sent down, right? So like this guy on a struggling San Francisco Giants team, I think is a perfect target for us.
Dude, he's amazing. He's kind of going a little bit of a rise the last few years. He's really starting to peak with those Giants. And the Giants right now are hovering around the 500 mark. So, they may be selling, they may not be selling, especially because the NL is kind of weak this year. The AL is really dominant, so they may or may not decide to sell them, especially because they do have a club option with them next year. So if they feel like teams are calling and they're offering a lot, because, I mean, you are guaranteed, if he does really well this year, I want Alex Cobb for a 2nd year. You know what I mean?
Pick that up.
I would absolutely pick that up. Because $10 million for a guy who's pitching like he's doing and on the rise, he'll be 36 next year. But hell, I mean, why not? Why would you say no to a quality player? I like that option. Different than Marcus Stroman, because Marcus will walk. But like, I kind of like this more as a safer option of the upside.
100%. You know, I think this would be a phenomenal target for the Toronto Blue Jays because again, you're getting an absolute like veteran presence. San Francisco Giants, they've been in the postseason before. Alex Cobb has pitched postseason innings. He's having a great year right now. And you bring him in. If he continues to do great, okay, we'll pick up your option. And then walking into free agency next year, there isn't as much stress to go and get other starting pitchers because, oh my God, we don't know about Alek Manoah and Hunter Ryu is leaving. Like, maybe this is the new Ryu,
That's the
right?
thing.
Like, this guy could be great to fill that hole right now and then maybe help us carry over into next year while our guys are figuring their stuff out.
And just, honestly, we need depth. I feel like I've said it like 3 times in this video, but like, man, like, even if we walk into next year, Alek Manoah's back, he's looking good. Like, now we have a 6th man. We could be a long bullpen guy. He's 36.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The crazy part about this, guys, is that we needed depth before Manoah went down. We were talking about that. We were going to walk into free agency or walk into trade deadline, needing starting pitching. And now that need is just magnified. They just tossed a big fat exclamation point right next to Toronto Blue Jays need pitching. Exclamation point, because Alek freaking Manoah is in the minor league. So absolutely, dude, I think he'd be perfect.
Yeah. All right. Last guy on this list, a familiar face. This guy's actually pitched in the AL East. So this actually might be a kind of a nice, sneaky matchup.
Sneaky.
And he's kind of a middle ground of all of these guys. He's on a 1-year deal. This is last year. He's got to go get paid. And he's doing pretty decent. And you could actually pitch him, you know, the entire rest of the season, and that is Jordan Montgomery. I like this guy a lot. He's been getting a lot better. St. Louis has got off to a really rocky start. I think they might still be the worst team in the NL, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotta double check that. I think they're starting to do a tiny bit better, but it's still kind of rough over there.
They're still pretty far. They're down pretty bad, but he's got a 4.23 ERA, a whip of 1.394, and again, the innings are nice. This is what you want out of a guy, and again, he is gonna walk, but I like him because he's familiar and not too far off. Like, he's only left the league for what, 1.5 seasons now?
Yeah.
Like, he got traded last season. So I like this. I like this a lot for the Toronto Blue Jays.
I'll tell you what, I think this is actually surprisingly my favorite target.
Me too.
You know, and as much as, you know, people are going to say, well, what the hell are you talking about, Nick? Like, Marcus Stroman's being Cy Young, and you got Alex Cobb there being incredible with maybe another year. We have to pay up to get those guys. This is a dude who can come in, who can actually eat innings very effectively, maybe not at the same caliber of those guys, but still give you an opportunity to win, and you do not need to pay up the wazoo to get him. You get him for this year. You let, you know, it's like Manoah, okay, hey, dude, if you need to be out all season long, it's cool, because now we got Jordan Montgomery, and now we got Hunter Ryu. So we're chilling up here. You go handle your stuff out there. So you take the pressure off of him, and you take the pressure off of the bullpen, because now you have a guy that can eat and can go 5, can go 6, and give that offense a chance.
And there's been some rumors recently and in the past of Toronto Blue Jays and the St. Louis Cardinals.
They like him.
Of just a trade relationship.
Yeah.
Like they've absolutely been talking about certain trades. Like, remember the whole like Nolan Gorman or, you know, like, you know, all those talks of like, can we go and make a trade over there for a left-handed bat? Well, I think they've got, you know, needs. They need to flip some guys over because they want to stay competitive next year. So, hey, flip Jordan Montgomery. We'll give you something that you can play with next year. Maybe a guy an option, maybe a bullpen piece, maybe some minor league depth, but you don't need Jordan Montgomery anymore. Send him over to Toronto, and that would be so beneficial for the Blue Jays.
I couldn't agree more. Folks, the main point and thesis of this video is that we absolutely need starting pitching. I think that it was the right move to send Manoah where he is. For the sake of his career, it was the right move to do it. But for the sake of the Toronto Blue Jays season right now, which is still a very competitive season in a very competitive division, we need someone to get innings. I've never felt like we needed to trade for a starting pitcher more than right now.
Yeah, I know. It's just a lot because in the past years we have definitely needed that.
Yes.
But now we actually have a legitimate chance where that final cog could actually set us over the edge to the World Series.
Totally agree. Folks, let us know in the comments down below your favorite target for the Toronto Blue Jays to trade for, to bring up from the minor leagues, just like literally anything, guys. Comment your thoughts down below.
Guys, and please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, $3 a month to become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current Patreon members. You guys are awesome. And as well as our YouTube members, you guys are also awesome. You're all awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!